Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Farm Thinking, right out here in my lab, and I'm in the book. We doing my yacht. We down the rabbit hole. I'm still going. This is my yacht and how she looks standing on the pedestal with her headdress, the feather. That's her again, holding the level, always on the pedestal. So we're gonna learn now about virtuous living and keeping the balance. Good lesson. This again, more information to get you prepared for that day. Let's rock. Rightisms, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. Always a message in my stories for life. I give you life lessons. You tune in and receive them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinker's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. Practice daily. Excuse me. Right thinker's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. Practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See where we're going with this? Let's get that together. So I asked the question: do you know you? Well, when I'm through, yeah, that's what I do. It's rhetorical, but you know how to answer for yourself. Tune in, I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. Don't be them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know dangers, avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know spiritually sleep. I can awaken them. Excuse me. I'm spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself and to my yacht be true. My girl. See right here, this is her calling card. The title of this lesson is Virtuous Living, Peaceful Philosophy on Virtuous Living Leads to Keeping the Balance. This is what represents my yacht. And this is the concept at Judgment Day. You have to have your balance in order. Why? When your heart on that feather against the feather of my yacht, you want it to be balanced. That's why. And she prepares you for just that. Let's go. This is a good lesson. Now it says here, equanimity is one of the most important qualities that you, the right thinking aspirant, must develop in order to practice virtuous living. Okay, you got to put forth that effort. Why? Virtuous living requires strength of will, that discipline. Virtuous living requires strength of will because life is what? Constantly tempting what? The mind and the body. There's a lot of stuff going on today. And if you ain't up on your game, you could get caught up in it. But it tempts the mind and body toward what? Pleasures of the flesh, the senses, and it leads it toward its egoistic desires. That's your lower nature. That thing, all it wants to do is zoom, zoom, and boom, boom. And for y'all who don't have control over it, that's what you do. And the females got the same concept. They do the same thing. Back in my day, that was, now they just give it away. Moving on, that's another lesson. But the idea is we talk about virtuous lifestyle living. It's keeping your balance and keeping these desires under control. And when the mind is constantly agitated, swinging back and forth. 1 minute good, next minute bad. And becoming elated 1 minute, exuberant, and then prosperous conditions, and then angry and upset and agitated when adversity hits. That's the proverbial roller coaster. And that's what they call burning up mental energy. And this energy is drained and dispersed all in the wrong places. So you just wasted losing energy. And it becomes hard for you to concentrate and even harder to act with what? Clarity, right thinking, right reasoning to distinguish between what? Right and wrong. If you ain't clear on what's right and wrong, you need to do some work on you. Why? It should be clear as the bell. This is right, that's wrong. Your decision. Don't do what's wrong. This is what I didn't know. Not excuses. Okay, moving on. But that's the whole idea of learning and getting information, getting taught, learning life lessons and knowing right from wrong. You're able to distinguish between right and wrong, and now it becomes more difficult for you to fulfill your daily duties in life because you confuse. Your willpower is down, your self discipline is in check because you ain't really under control. So this is why the Egyptian book of coming forth by day in the Maya philosophy, you the initiate is constantly you're saying what that he or she has kept their balance. That means I'm focused, I know right from wrong, and I'm staying in the right lane, doing what's right, and are worthy to enter into what they call the divine realm. That's when your heart is just as light as my feather. You pass. That's what it's all about. And you have every day of your life to make that right and for yourself. At the end, that's where you're going to end up. So enjoy what you're doing. Just do the right thing. Ain't nobody saying you got to be wrong. No, just do the right thing. If doing the wrong thing makes you happy, you ain't going to get where you want to go anyway. Okay, here we go. But you got to learn to what? Undo the agitation. And agitation is the source of what? Anger, bad thoughts, wherein people say and they do things that would not otherwise do or get caught up in a pattern wherein now they are easily what? Provoked. Young black men, we have attitudes. We walk with attitude. Why? Because situation, position that we're in, we just mad. So that part I get. And we got to work on that. I know that too. I'll fight in a heartbeat. I don't give a damn. Why? I'm just like I'm built that way. That's where I come from. That's that built-in anger. I keep attitude. I keep a chip on my shoulder. They show all the bad guys in the back of the day. There's always that one guy who just wasn't going to, give in to the authority. Same thing. But it's okay when you're white, you're black. Oh, it's just bad. But we all have it, okay. But otherwise, they would do things what? Because they're easily provoked. But by others, who can what? Remember the phrase, push the buttons to piss you off. The woman you stay with, the man that you live with, they know your weak points and stuff. They can push the button to get you up. Okay, get your goat. We call it getting your goat. Putting you in a spot that you don't like to be in, uncomfortable by pushing those buttons, and which can what anger you. Natural reaction when the mind is under control through the right thinking and always aware of what its thoughts within as well as the world outside. Now it is almost impossible for your mind to fall prey to what? The provocation of others to what? Put you in a bad position and to put you in despair or give you fear. Fear is false evidence appearing real. I ain't scared of jack, okay? But this is the idea of what we call equanimity, knowing, understanding both sides before you make your decision to stand on the side. Know why you're standing there. That is to be reached by what? Living a virtuous, righteous life. How? Through the daily study and then the practice of the teachings that you're learning to have your what they call the mystical experience. That's spirituality. Living through the spiritual laws that set forth that you hold yourself accountable. Christians got the 10 Commandments. We Egyptians got the 42 Confessions of Maya. Simple. Anything that's going to hold you accountable to do, I ain't got a problem with it. And you can call it Christ, Ishka, Bible, Buddha. I don't care. I'm moving on. But the idea that when you do that, we can agree, okay, and we'll be on the same wavelength. Why? Because the higher self, we all know that's called God. If you're a God believer, then you can pretty much work. If you worry about your God being the best or the highest, we ain't got nothing in common. No, we ain't doing that nonsense. Okay, it ain't competition. All right. And this is a phrase from an ancient Egyptian proverb. Check this out. No one reaches the benefit west unless their heart is righteous. That means everybody don't go to the west. The west is where you go for eternity. That's where the gods go to rest forever. So if you make it there, you have to pass the test again. If your heart is not righteous, you ain't going. And by what? Doing Maya. They knew that. This how much they had reverence for Maya. Okay, she's the difference in you going or not going. Okay, why? You got to pass her test, the feather. There is no distinction. They again, I don't give a crap how much money you got. Don't give a crap what title you hold. Means nothing. How did you live? And there is no distinction that's made between what we consider the inferior, the regular man, the ordinary Joe, and superior person who's rich, and elite. No difference. No difference. That's the beauty part about that. Okay? So it only matters that the one is found faultless. Ding, ding, ding. Faultless meaning you doing the right thing for the right reason when on a regular basis all the time. So when it's said and done, you are faultless. My pastor got a phrase, I'm not going to let you take me to hell with you. Meaning if you getting out of pocket, knock yourself out. I'm not going to engage. I'm not going to join you in that nonsense. Why? I ain't going to hell with you because you going to hell. You damning yourself. You think you doing something? No, I don't even worry about that nonsense. Again, ignorant people do ignorant things. And they say ignorant things. So that's one of the ignorant things they think. Oh, I'm better than you. No, we're not. No, you ain't. When they all come down to it, we all the same. And how you live will determine where you go and vice versa. So when you have self-knowledge, when you work your way through self-mastery, at least you know who you are at Judgment Day. It will serve you well. Why? Because your heart will be like, that's what you practice, the concept of Maya philosophy. And when the balances of the scales of the two ways stand before the Lord of eternity, okay, don't worry about anybody else. No, it's you and yourself, okay? When you had to answer for everything you said and did, you can't look around. You can't hope and wish something. No. This is all on you. The sooner you realize that in this life, the better off you should be and take care of it. Because why? If you know that's coming, if you know there's going to be a test, and you don't prepare for it, you guaranteed to fail in life. If you ain't planning to be your best self, if your goal ain't to know yourself, you planning to fail. The scales of Maya. And watch this. No one is free from the reckoning, the judgment we call it. And you got the God thought as the baboon. He holds the balances to make sure there's the right count. And he count each one according to what? To what they have done upon the earth in their life. Did they live right? My heart right now is pure and light as a feather. Why? I purified it. The things I do on a day-to-day basis makes that possible for me. What do you do? How do you purify your heart? I got a regimen. I got a practice that I follow. I got a philosophy to hold me accountable to do that from studying, practicing, and implementing it. What's your philosophy? What regimen you use? If you're not living virtuous, meaning doing the right thing, hold yourself accountable, you'll be back. That was the ancient Egyptian proverb. Now let's talk about, you keep talking about purifying the heart, purifying your heart. Let me tell you how. You can seek purify or purity of one's heart. How? Through the attitude of what Maya called selfish service. Right now, I'm purifying my heart. I'm doing something for somebody else and ain't asking for nothing in return. That's what selfish service is all about. I got another half a page of information I can get to you right quick. And this is what I live by. These are the rules that I practice. This is the stuff that I learned. This book, beat up. I've been at this book a long time. But this is my Bible. This got the information you will need to get to the next level. So let's go. Always keep in mind, in all is mental. The first law, all is mental. So we're dealing with this. Understand that. Always keep in mind that you are God conscious. What's that? That means you are performing actions with the grace of God, no matter what actions you perform. That's what being God conscious is. If you know you're being watched by God, and you know God got his eye on everything you say and do, how would you act? God is acting through you. Yeah, hello. And it's up to you to uphold the order of the universe, which White Maya does. You are an instrument of the divine by which he or she performs actions of their human experience, to have the experience here on life in space and time. But we are all the same. Therefore, as you consciously start to learn and master and put yourself in understanding of Mayat philosophy, now you are assisting in the support of your positive evolution of the universe. You're starting to get in sync. Things are starting, excuse me, things are starting to go your way. When you living right, everything just seems to work out. That's not by accident, it's by design. And you always keep in mind that as an aspirant, a right thinker, your soul is of God and it is leading you. That voice that everybody has, everybody don't listen to it, but that voice, that's the voice of intuition, that's the voice of God, that's the voice that you should be listening to, regardless of your situation, be it adverse or prosperous situations. Always remember that your goal is to what? Purify your heart. Not change and control situations or change and control people. No, you want to purify and change you, and purify heart means you got to do what needs to be done as to come into what we call balance with the cosmic order. By living right, you are aligning yourself, you're in sync with God's divine nature. And that's all connected to who? The Supreme Being. In Mayat, you will realize that many situations which ordinary people, the masses, they consider to be adversities in life or accidents or situations of misfortune and losses, etc., because they don't truly understand what's this. They are all in reality what we see as opportunities for you, the individual, to now practice your true and real understanding of the teachings that you profess and to be able to control your ego personality. And Christians, y'all want to take care of the devil. I get it. Same concept, but y'all put it different. But the goal is to what? Do it. Whatever you call it, don't care. Doing it. I know a brother who does that very well. Okay? I fellowship with a bunch of Christians who also does it well, following his lead. Okay? But whatever your situation is in life, is the parent, is that present. Whatever situation you have in life, is that presence that presents itself here to you. Remember this, the divine intent and behind it, and you offer your actions in response to it as an obligation or in presentation of what's what made to be done by the divine, of the act of worshiping and knowing who you are and paying attention to your higher self. We know to be God in every situation. I call it being God conscious. Christians call it being prayed up. Know your place. So know how to conduct yourself. Control what? That ego self, that emotional, that gets out of pocket, that gets crazy out of here. Control that. I call it the Hulk. I got the Hulk. I control the Hulk. You don't control me. At one time, people can push that button and bring the Hulk out. Nah, no, he's under my control now. He come out when I want him. But that's the whole idea. You having control over that part of you, all right? That's not divine. That's part. Evil, wrong ain't divine. That's personal. That's human. But each time you have to remember what the divine throughout your normal course of the day. I call it being God conscious. I got my mind on God, God on my mind all the time. He don't leave. I don't stop thinking about God. No, no, no. So, and they say the same thing. So I get the concept. That's where I got it from. How about that? But it's like taking a trip to a temple or a holy site. When you offer your actions to the divine and accept no egoistic credit for the action, that's the selfless service that you provide for people who just need what you can do for them. And you do it, don't need nothing from them. Why? God sees your intention. He sees your good deeds. That's what he takes care of for those who do just that. And it is even a higher form of worship to the divine, to take care of those in need, those less fortunate. When you can take care of them, that's godly service. Helping somebody else out for just for the right thing. That's godly service. I'm doing it now. And when you inwardly take this attitude that it is in reality your divine self who is acting and not your ego self, your lower self, this is the highest form. Why? Now you are Haru. You reached your highest potential you can be as a human being. And you will always what? Worship the divine. And the Godfather, what he told Freddie, your family. When you become God conscious, you don't go against family. Okay? That means your loved ones, your other spiritual people, you can't go against them. Moving on. But if you were able to be able to maintain this level of excellence within yourself, way of thinking, how you can live, form of awareness consciously, continuously, now you would be able to achieve what they call spiritual realization in a real short time. It won't take you long to grasp the concept and learn the Maya philosophy. If you're dedicated and on point and get the concept, you can speed the process up. Those who fight, who always worry, well, I didn't know that, all that waste of time. No. Learn, stop contradicting and fighting. Wrapping it up with this. All things are in reality manifestations of the divine, and every individual has the opportunity, because he's created in God's image, to create and manifest whatever they can conceive in their minds. If you can conceive it, you can achieve it. God did. That's how the world was created. All things in reality are manifestations of God. We call it nature. Okay? But just as the candles light and heat are one and the same, the manifestation, aka the universe, and your divine self are also one and the same. It don't get no simpler than that. So therefore, the idea that there are individuals acting independently as various people with different names is an illusion that's backed up by what? Our mental ignorance and lack of knowledge. You must continue to assert this truth at all times. And in order to combat what they call ignorance of oneself, and thereby that's how you purify one's heart. Knowing when and how to do what it is need to be done, when you're supposed to do it, that's how you lighten the heart. No ill will, no bad feelings, no jealousy, no anger. You hear none of those qualities. Okay, those are lower level qualities. All divine qualities of the higher nature. That's what Haru does. He's a good guy, not a bad guy. He fights the bad guy, symbolically, metaphorically. But guess what? That good guy and bad guy, you know the deal. They both reside in you. Hope you got the lesson. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm loving it. So, in closing, right thinkers, may you all live to be 100. Me, 100 minus a day. So, I never know my right thinkers who now understand virtuous living leads to keeping it balanced and seeking purity of heart through selfless service have passed away. I'll be back with more. We're going to seek purity of heart by what? Not expecting a reward for your action. This is one of my favorites, too. I'll be right back.